Strikeout victim first time up. Bunt, squeeze, it was a suicide. Run will score, tag is put on, and the Orioles have a 4-2 lead.
You talk about the fact they were out early bunting yesterday. And you don't have to get it down to be a perfect bunt. De La Rosa, he knows the minute that Jonathan Schoop, but if you look at the thing, bat out in front, good chance, didn't foul it off, and then
and the 1-1 squeeze is on. Schaefer gets it down, and the ball game is over. Logan Schaefer on the.
Perfectly timed. You can see Bianchi taking off at the perfect spot. Schaefer had a good pitch to bunt, and game over. Brewers able to execute. The Cubs were not. And an easy run to win the ball game.
Good one tonight for the Brewers. They continue their dominance over the Cubs this year, and the suicide squeeze.
For a while. There's Cueto on deck. Squeeze, and Martin will make the tag, and the runner is out.
A good defensive catcher. You can't do a whole lot with that pitch if you're trying to bunt it. That pitch way out of the zone, and Brian Price taking a risk here, trying to add on, works in the Pirates' favor.
Coco runs, and it's line base hit left center. Coco never stops. Now the ball's juggled in center, and they're waving Coco home, and he is in there standing up. Danks juggled it.
The Danks had bobbled the ball, but how about a hit and run? Or at least with the runner going, shortstop Ramirez covering, just past him to his right. And then Coco hit it to third, and this is where Mike Gallego can see the bobble, and Coco did not stop going to third base, and Mike Gallego is waving him, and that is a big insurance run for Grant Balfour and the A's, but he kept him going, and that's why you pay attention to your third.
And in this series behind the plate again.
Ground ball through a vacated right side. Second hit of the night for Ito. Runners on the corners with 2 outs here in the 4th.
Well, you like to stay at home if possible until that pitch passes the hitter. Altuve taking off a little early. Hitting
something they pondered. It's the center field. And should be deep enough. The catch is made by Velasquez. Trotting home from third is Parsons. Something they pondered. It's the center field. Should be deep enough. The catch is made by Velasquez.
And that will bring them another run. The stolen base setting up. Stewart coming in from second. Maris. And that will bring them another run. The stolen base setting.
Bases loaded. And it gets by McHenry. Here comes Ramirez. Might have a play. Ramirez is in there. That throw gets away. In to score is Mark Reynolds.
How bad is this, huh?
And here comes Segura. And he will score. Segura caught the Rockies napping. 3 runs in.
And a wild pitch.
Major leaguers have a better grip on hitting than Tony Gwynn of the Padres. With an average of .340, Gwynn could win a 4th batting title, and if he does win it, he'll be the first National Leaguer since Stan Musial to win 3 batting titles in a row. But make no mistake, hitting is no guessing game to Gwynn, who takes a portable video cassette player on the road. a practice he began 6 years ago. At first, the idea was to identify mistakes, but now he also studies opposing pitchers.
How it came about was kind of a fluke because we bought a VCR. You know, we really hadn't even used it. And this one day, I was struggling, and I asked my wife to tape my bats while we were on the road trip so that when I came home, I could watch them. And when I came home, I looked at it, and the minute I saw it, I knew what I was doing wrong. And from that point on, I hit like 340 for the rest of the year, had a 25-game hitting streak. And just for mental peace of mind for me, I just continued to do it. But I just feel like the better prepared you are for a game and the more knowledge you can acquire, the better you're going to be. And that's why I do what I do.
What Gwynn does is go back over different at-bats for different pitchers. This way, he has a better idea of what to look for when he's up at the plate.
Front foot is locked in. Solid front leg. Head down on the ball. Perfect. When I'm hitting good, that front foot goes almost between shortstop and second base. And when I'm going good, that's where it'll land. But sometimes when it goes haywire, sometimes it'll land closer to the plate. Sometimes it won't go at all. I just kind of pick it up and put it down. I'm what they call a diver. When I'm at the plate, I kind of dive into the ball. As long as this front foot is going almost towards shortstop, not quite, between short and second base, I know that I'm okay. Rick Naylor is a guy who will change speed quite a bit. He likes to get me off the plate when he's ahead in the count. And sometimes like that, he'll come inside, and in order for me to hit it, I really have to get my hands through because I'm not what they call a full hitter. I'm more of a line drive hitter who uses the whole field, but basically everybody pitches me away, so I usually hit the ball to left field. I know sometimes people look at me slide or something and say, God, what's wrong with that guy? He didn't smile or anything, but to me, this is business. Craig Lefferts is a fastball slider. Every now and then he'll turn a screwball over, but I don't believe he likes to throw it to left-handers a lot. With one strike, if he's ahead in the count 0-1, he usually likes to throw the slider. Good slider. And that at bat, and you see him frustrated because I just didn't have a clue on that. But the difference, I think, between a lot of hitters today and the guys who are pretty consistent hitters are guys, when they get 2 strikes on them, they don't change. Their makeup as a hitter remains the same. And even with 2 strikes, I still get a good pitch to hit, and I get a base hit this time. You hear a lot of people act like they're surprised that people get hits on 0-2 pitches, but it's just a confidence factor that lets you know that when you get up there and you're behind the count 0-2, you don't panic, because then a lot of hitters will swing at anything 0-2. But as long as you know you got a bat in your hand, you're able to do whatever it is that you do. Lon Darn is a guy who just has about 3 or 4 just good quality pitches. There's one of them is a slow breaking ball. This is a guy who statistically I hit well, but whenever I go up there, I never feel comfortable against him because he's got what you saw there, good breaking ball, great forkball, not really overpowering. He's more of a spot pitcher. His pitch is. But see, that's what a lot of pitchers like to do to me. They get ahead of me and they like to back me off the plate because, like I said, I hit the ball to left field a lot. And in order for a pitcher to feel like he's got control of that outside part of the plate, they back me off the plate. And he's got a real good forkball. That's just a tough pitch to stay behind and hit the ball the other way. I mean, you really have to wait a long time in order to hit that ball hard. So 2 strikes now, I'm figuring I've got a battle because he could throw that forkball again. But this time he throws a fastball in and just fight it off. That's kind of like what I do best right there is just take the inside fastball and fight it off and hit it the other way. John Smoltz, he's really a good young pitcher. Throws hard. Fastball, changeup, good slider, good curveball. This is what I call working the count. I'm trying to work the count. I'm ahead 2-0. And off a young guy, you just feel like you're going to get the fastball. But for me, sometimes I get ahead in the count and I don't want to be too anxious, so I'll just take a pitch. And it's 2-1 now, and I'm still ahead in the count. So as a hitter, you feel like you've got the advantage because he doesn't want to throw you a good pitch to hit. Well, it looks like a change. Oh, he got it up. And that's the one pitch when you get it up. If you make a mistake with it, a hitter really takes advantage of it. All 4 of these at-bats that we saw today, I just remember in my own mind. Guys who have been pretty consistent over their careers, I think, have that ability to remember almost every at-bat, every situation. And think that with video, it's a lot easier to remember because, I mean, I've got my library at home, and like all the footage that we saw today, I have at home, except for the first at bat off Malin. But I remember that one too because he got ahead in the count 0-2. As a hitter, the thing you feel proudest about is the fact that they feel like they can't pitch you one way. You know, they have to keep changing it up on you because if they can pitch you one way and get you out consistently, then you're making some mistakes. You're not doing things consistently well. But when they have to keep changing on you, you feel like I must be doing something right because they keep telling me, God, I throw a ball away, you hit it to left, throw a ball in, you hit it to right. I mean, I throw it down the middle. That's my only hope. I hope you hit it right at somebody. And I hear that a lot.
Tony Gwynn just continues to amaze. How do you spell a hit? Gwynn.
Well, now, let's spell the answer to this week's quiz, brought to you by today's Chevy.
All right, what did Pollock do that caught your eye, Billy and Harold?
Well, you know, first of all, I said live that it was a hit and run. On 0-2, not going to be a hit and run situation.
No.
So there's two things he can do here. If it is a hit and run, we're going to show you what exactly you would do as a base runner on a hit and run because Billy was talking about peeking in. And then he's going to show you the straight steal and Pollock picking up the ball. So go ahead, Mr.
Right. On a hit and run, it's my job as a hitter, number one, not to get picked off. Number two, I'm going to try to sell it like I'm stealing a base. But when I make my break on a hit and run, I'm counting on him putting the ball in play. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to look in there and see what happens. So I've already taken a peek in there. So I know that the ball was hit up, the ball was hit down, and I can continue on. Now.
And about that third step, that's when the ball should be crossing the plate at the contact point. That's why you get about 3 steps, and now you're able to pick up that ball.
Now, in this case, 0-2 count, not a hit and run. Not a hit and run. It was going on a straight steal. So breaking into the base, I'm just zeroed in on this. Then when he slid into second base, I'm not going to slide. He gets up, he finds the ball. And the cool thing about this, for a rookie, to go ahead and say, you know what, that ball's not hit deep. It's coming down. It's probably not even going to hit the wall if it doesn't get caught. I actually came out here and I'm looking at it. Ball's caught. Got to retouch. Make sure you retouch. Don't cut across the diamond. And then just get after it like this. Harold, you can't get me. You cannot get me. Harold, you can't get me. Halfway means exactly halfway. Bases are 90 feet apart.
Yep.
Fly ball goes to the outfielder, I'm going to go halfway. No, halfway goes as far as the outfielder will let you, and you can still get back. In this case, halfway was on the other side of second base.
Now, the last thing I'll throw in there, if you get lost, you can look for that third base coach to let you know, should I get back, should I keep coming, or whatever. That's if you get lost out here, but most of the time, you're going to be lost in traveling.